Now that we have our text just the way we like it, we should preview our toolpaths. First, select all the text that you've created by hitting the Shift key on your keyboard and then selecting every piece of text. Once all the text is purple, go over to Toolpaths, select VCarve Engraving Toolpath. All these will be set from the last time the program was used, and this is just the way we like it. Flat depth of 10 millimeters. Make sure you won't cut through your material. This is the bit we like using for text in our shop. And down here, we could change the name if we like. Maybe we can just make it text in this case. Then a funny thing you'll notice with VCarve, sometimes you have to scroll down to find the calculate or the close button for many of the menus. Hit calculate. Now preview all toolpaths. Now this shows us what your text design will look like when you cut it out. If we zoom in, we can check the depth of the cuts. You can see this cut in the Z dimension. You can see this cut in the Z dimension is about -3 or about 3 millimeters deep. Here's the Z dimension. If we look up here, our text anywhere is less than 1 millimeter deep in some spots. And if it's less than 1 millimeter, it probably won't stand out very well. Now, the main part of this letter is just about 2 millimeters, but that's still too small. By the way, I'm zooming in and out using the roller key on my mouse. I can zoom in and then I can rotate. We can also change views up here. If I look at the thumbs up, it's also only cutting less than 1 millimeter deep. So we're going to have to change that. Let's go back to the 2D view. Choose our thumbs up. Now we can make it bold, and you can see that makes the lines a little bigger. I may also want to make our thumbs up bigger overall. Now that we've resized that, we may just want to simplify our design, get rid of text anywhere. In this case, we'll leave it in there just as a reference of too small and just right. We'll go back to Toolpaths. We can delete this old text one. I'm just going to hit delete on the keyboard. We'll close the preview. We can delete this one here. We'll select delete with a right click. Delete this. Now we're going to recreate our VCarve toolpath. Just there. Why don't we call this one text 2 because it's our second try. Find calculate, preview. Oh, and then we're going to have to reset. You can see here is our new design. Our old one is still in there. So in the toolpaths, we need to reset the preview, and then we can preview all toolpaths again. This time, when I check our depth, I'm looking down at the bottom portion of my screen here. It tells me the exact dimension of my cursor, and you can see that now I'm just over 1 millimeter deep. Ideally, I'd like to be 3 millimeters deep for every detail. Now that our text is looking pretty good, we can add in one more toolpath. We'll go back to the 2D view. We'll select the box. Now we're going to create a profile toolpath. This one we can choose the depth. In this case, I can set it to a 3 millimeter depth. All the other settings should be good from the last time this program was used. Profile one is just fine. We've been calling it a box, so why don't we label it box? Now again, we can preview all toolpaths, and now we see how deep a 3 millimeter cut looks. If I zoom in, if you look at the Z dimension, when I get to the very deepest point, it's about 3, pretty close to 3. Now that we've made a toolpath for every detail you want to add to your project, we can export your toolpath and get it to your CNC.